Alright, so I don't remember where I last left you off, but I added this, got a few things done here. I got the support here for the lower steering pivot in place. Just ran this bar down under there, and that holds the bearing. And then I added this extra support to the engine mount bolts there. So that should be strong enough to keep it forward and back and side to side movement. And finished up the transmission mounts here. I only put 2 in the front, and I got the 4 in the back there. And I didn't figure out this tail part yet, so I moved on to this axle. I think I'm going to start building the legs now. I already had the axle in place, but I got put these arms on, and I just took bicycle cranks, 3-piece design ones. So they were 5/8 hole here, and I took some hubs from some old pulleys, 3/4 shaft with a keyway and set screws, and I just figured out the length and welded them on here, and made some shafts that work with the pinch bolts here. So I think they'll be strong enough. Alright, so I'm working on the legs now. I welded it to this stool to get it up off the ground so I could have a better look at it. But my original measurements, the legs were kind of long, so I didn't want it that high, so I recalculated it a little bit to make the legs shorter on this part, and so that seemed okay when I tried it out on the pattern here on the ground. And just the throw of where it ends up on the ground is just a little bit shorter, so it's not really a problem, I don't think. And so I got the pivots here made up. Still gotta weld the bottom on that one, but I made them a little bit bent out so they line up with the back arms here a little better, and those will come in a little bit too to meet up. And I made it in an arc here because when it's going to come all the way forward, I don't want the leg to bind up there. So I still might have to grind that a little bit there, and I'll have to make sure that doesn't bind up when I make the leg part. So I got these bushings for the bottom here, and I got bushings in there, and I got bearings here because that'll be going all the way around instead of just pivoting back and forth. This is all just stuff I had in my stash, so that's what I'm working on now, and I'll finish the other side. And I ordered a couple of dies because I don't have any 3/4 dies, so I'm gonna thread these with castle nuts like this, so that'll look cool. And I don't think I showed you this neck part yet. I acquired a couple of smaller benders, so now I could bend this smaller conduit. So that's how I did this. And I made the tank bracket on the top here so I could still slide the tank out through the neck when this is off. And I didn't decide on how I'm going to do the neck pivot yet, so save that for later. And so now I'm gonna work on these, making these pipe pivots here so I could start making the lower part of the legs. I got these threaded for the castle nuts. Still gotta do these ones and these ones, and these I'll probably just put a little groove in there so I can put a clip on it, like a C-clip or whatever you call them. And so I put a little bit of a curve on these and made a bump around here to give it some style, and I'll continue that around the bottom. I'll set you up here and you can see how it works. So I think that'll work pretty good. Now I could continue with the legs and see how that goes. And I angled in the legs a little bit here. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but get them closer together. That way when it's walking, you won't pull as much side to side, and it'll be balanced better when it's, you know, when I'm not sitting on the back of it. So, alright, it took me quite a while to get these shocks put together. I had like four different shocks. They all had different lengths of the body and the ram here. So I managed to put together two that were the same, or pretty much the same. These springs are from a normal size shock, because the bicycle springs are too stiff. They're like wicked thick, so these are pretty soft. They don't gotta be real strong, because I cut out these feet, put a little bit of a curve on them. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do for a grip on the bottom. Probably going to cut up a tire and see if I could bolt it on or rivet it on or glue it on or something. So those will go like this. And here's the little legs I made. There's going to be extra support in there with, I think I'm probably just going to use conduit. And I got these skateboard bearings to go in the bottom here for the pivots. So they'll be pivoting like that. And then the shocks will be like that. Or like that. And that should kind of give it some absorption as it steps. These legs came out really good. I added the support here. It's just a conduit. This is EMT conduit too. All of this. It's strong enough. Plenty strong. Got the feet made there. I kind of worked my way around. I welded this one first, and then that one, and then came down and then made the pivot. Then I made the feet, and then put the shock support on here when I figured out what angle to put the feet at. And then I made that piece and then filled it in. So feet came out pretty cool. I glued on some shoe soles there. It's just old lawn tractor tire, cut them up to fit, and epoxied them on with some screws too. Got 2 there and 2 under there. And all these enders threaded. I took the stool out of there because it was in the way when I was figuring out everything. So I strung it up to the ceiling here with these straps. So next I'll probably work on the head, and then I'll get working on the cart too. Alright, so this is how the wagon's gonna be. I gotta make the wheels here out far enough that I could, have it pretty stable. And close enough that I could get to the shifter and stuff here. I was thinking I might make these foot rest here so that I could fold up like a wheelchair. That way I could help it along if I have to. But I might not have to do that. I could probably make it narrow and fit my legs on the outside. But we'll see how it goes once I get the top pieces here put in. So, and I'm probably not going to use these wheels because they're crappy, but something like that. So that's how it's going to look. And I think I'm just going to keep working away at this, finish up the details on this thing before I get started on that. I gotta put in the rest of the bolts around here and finish up this steering pulley thing, make the guides for it, make sure all that works. Probably gonna use this bigger pulley, but I gotta make a hub that fits this shaft. So I think it's a 3/4 or 5/8 hole in there, and this is a 1/2 inch shaft. So I gotta make that fit. And I gotta make an air filter, and I'll probably work on the head a little bit. It's looking good. One piece at a time. Alright guys, thanks for watching. See you later.